Good morning, dear students. As you know that it is our fourth lecture and of the grammar, and in this lecture we will start from the sentence. But before starting from the sentence, we will recapitulate whatever we have already learned yesterday. I have told you about the letters of alphabet. I told you that letters of alphabet are the basic building block of all the languages. They are the basic units of all the languages. And I told you that in case of English there are 26 letters of alphabet. Then I told you that when we combine the letters of alphabet in proper order, in proper sequence, they give us the word. And when we combine the words in proper order, in proper sequence, they give us phrase. And when we combine the phrases, they give us a clause. I have told you that phrases and clauses, they are mostly part of the sentence. Sometimes they have the full meaning, but not always. Mostly they does not have the full meaning. Then I told you the difference between clause and phrase. I have told you that in case of clause, finite verb is compulsory, but in case of phrase, finite verb is not compulsory. It may or may not be. Then I told you the sentence. I told you that when we combine the phrases or when we combine the clauses, they give us a sentence. And I have told you that sentence is the group of clauses or phrases in proper order, in proper sequence, so that they can give us complete meaning or complete sense. How? Can you understand? Did you have you any doubt till this time? Okay. Now I will share another slide with you. Please wait. Yes. Now today's topic is parts of sentence. As you know that we have seen that sentence is combination of one or more than two or more than two words. Now we have to see that which word represents what. That is now part of sentence. We have to divide the sentence according to grammar. According to grammar, sentence is divided into three parts. Number one is subject. Subject is that part of the sentence which shows us the person who performs the work. That is one who performs the action. That is doer of the work is called a subject. And the predicate, the remaining part excluding subject, is called a predicate. That is in the, for example, I am teaching you English. Here is subject because I am performing the work. And the remaining part, teaching you English, is called a predicate. And there is also object. Object is upon which work is done, upon which work is performed. For example, as I have told you, I am teaching you English. I is subject and remaining part is predicate. If we will now divide this predicate, there also comes the object. And the object is you. But objects are of two types, that is direct object and indirect object. I am teaching you English. That is, I am teaching you. You are also object, and English is also object. Both are objects. You are direct object, and English is indirect object. That is, you have to remember that objects are of two types. That is direct object and indirect object. Have you any doubt? In short, I have told you the parts of sentence. I told you that there are three parts of the sentence: subject, predicate, and object. Subject is performer of the work, one who does the work. Predicate is remaining part of the sentence excluding subject. And then I told you object. Object is that upon which work is done, upon which work is performed. I told you that object is of two types: direct object and indirect object. Now I will slide. I will share another slide with you. Wait. Yes. This is another slide, and now it is mute yourself. Mute yourself. At the last, I will give you time because there comes a noise. Huh. Now we have to see types of sentence. Types of sentence. That is sentence. You have to remember that sentence is of two types. Number one, according to structure. Number second, according to meaning. According to structure and according to meaning or according to sense. That means you have to remember that sentence is of two types. Number one, according to structure, and number second, according to sense or according to meaning. According to structure, structure means the word itself shows that physical structure, physical appearance. For example, if we take the structure of the humans, anybody can be thin, anybody can be short, anybody can be long, anybody can be fat. That is structure. In the same way, sentences have their own structure. Some sentences are very short, some sentences are long, some sentences are very complex, difficult. Some sentences are compound, which are made up of more than two clauses. Which I have already told you that clause. I told you that clause is part of the sentence. Sometimes it has full meaning, but sometimes it has not full meaning. Sometimes two clauses combine, two or more than two clauses combine together, and they give the meaning. Sometimes only single clause gives the meaning. It is not only that single clause sometimes gives the meaning. Sometimes single word, single alphabet gives the meaning. Sometimes single word gives the meaning. For example, I can say you, who will give the answer? Anyone among you can say, sir, I. I there represents not only alphabet, it also represents their word and it also represents their sentence. Or I can say you, have you understood? You can say yes. There the word yes represents the not only the word, it also represents a sentence and it means yes sir, we have understood. In the same way, I told you that there are the clause I told you is part of the sentence, but in case of clause, verb is compulsory, verb is mandatory. On the basis of this clause, sentences are divided on the basis of this clause, sentences are divided into three types. That is according to structure. That is, structure is made on the basis of the clause. That how many clauses are in the sentence and in which way these clauses are. If there will be only one clause, if there will be only one clause, that is called a simple sentence. In other words, you have to remember that in case of simple sentence, there is only one clause. And in case of compound and complex clause, or compound and complex sentences, you have to remember that there are two or more than two clauses. In both compound and complex sentences, there are two or more than two clauses. Now, what is difference between compound and complex? Because in both there are two or more than two clauses. You have to remember the difference now. That in case of compound, all clauses are independent clauses. They are not dependent upon each other. All the clauses gives their own meaning. In other words, we can say that all the clauses are principal or mere clauses. in case of compound sentences. There may be two or more than two clauses, but all clauses have their own meaning. While as in case of complex clause, this sentence, only one clause is principal clause or main clause, and other clauses are dependent clauses. Other clauses are subordinate clauses. Yani they are dependent upon the main clause. Hello, are you able to understand? Okay. Still, if you are not able to understand, I will make another difference among them. You have to remember in other words that in case of simple sentence, no conjunction is used. In case of simple sentence, no conjunction is used because there is only one clause. Conjunction is used for joining the words, for joining the clauses. When there is only one clause, to whom we will join? So you have to remember that in case of simple sentence, there is only one clause and there is no conjunction. In case of compound and complex, I told you that there are two or more than two clauses, but they are joined with different conjunctions. You have to remember that compound sentences are joined by coordinate conjunctions. Compound sentences are joined by coordinate conjunctions, while as complex sentences are joined by subordinate conjunctions. Compound sentences are joined by coordinate conjunctions. Complex sentences are joined by subordinate conjunctions. Now we will see that who are coordinate conjunctions and who are subordinate conjunctions. In other words, we will say which conjunctions are used in compound and which are used in case of complex. First of all, we will see coordinate conjunctions, which are used in case of compound sentences. And, but, or, nor, neither, either, as well as neither nor, either or, etc. These are coordinate conjunctions and they are used in case of compound sentences. Now, subordinate conjunctions, which are used in case of complex sentences. Who, whom, which, whose, that, unless, when, while, till, until, before, after, via, why, as, because, since, so, that, lest, though, etc. These are subordinate conjunctions and they are used in case of complex sentences. Are you able to understand? Have you any doubt? Okay, I will repeat. Don't worry, I will repeat. Okay, I will repeat. I will repeat. Okay, don't worry. We have started today from sentence. And I have told you that sentences are divided into three parts. That sentence has three parts. Number one, subject. Subject, I told you that one who performs the work is called subject. Then I told you that there is predicate, and the remaining part of the sentence excluding subject is called predicate. Then I told you that in case of this predicate, there is also object. Object is upon which work is done, upon which work is performed by the subject. Then I told you that objects are of two types. Please mute yourself. Objects are of two types. That is direct object and indirect object. Then I told you now types of sentence. I told you that sentences are divided into two types. Number one, on the basis of structure. Structure means physical appearance. And number second, on the basis of meaning. Or on the basis of sense. Meaning or sense means message. That is then I told you that on the basis of the structure, yani ki how much long the sentence is, how much short the sentence is, how much complex or compound the sentence is, it is divided into three types. Number one, simple. You have to remember that in case of simple sentence, there is only one clause. In case of simple sentence, there is only one clause and no conjunction is used because there is only one clause. How we will use a conjunction? Because conjunction is used for joining the two clauses or for joining the two words. But there is only one clause, so there is no conjunction. Whenever you will see a sentence where there is no conjunction, you can say that, sir, it is simple sentence. Then I told you that compound and complex sentence. I told you that both compound and complex sentences, there are two or more than two clauses. In case of compound and complex sentences, there are two or more than two clauses. So now what is difference between compound and complex? I told you that in case of compound, all the clauses are independent clauses. All the clauses are principal clauses. All the clauses are main clauses. Yani ki all the clauses have their own meaning. They are not dependent with each other. Then I told you that compound the clauses are compound. In case of compound, there are coordinate conjunctions. I told you that coordinate conjunctions are and, but, or, nor, neither, either, as well as neither nor, either or, etc. Then I told you the complex. I told you that in case of complex, there are also two or more than two clauses, but only one clause is the principal or main clause or independent clause. Other clauses are dependent or subordinate clauses. Yani they are depend upon the main clause or the principal clause. I will give you also examples. Don't worry. Then I have given you the example of the subordinate clauses. This I have told you that in case of complex sentences, we use the subordinate conjunctions. Then I told you the example of the subordinate conjunctions. They are who, whom, which, whose, that, it, unless, when, while, till, until, before, after, via, why, as, because, since, that, lest, though, etc. Now I will explain you with the help of the examples so that you will be able to understand. Have you any doubt till this time in the definitions? Okay. Okay. Now I will explain you with the help of examples. You will understand. For example, I can say that I am teaching you English. I am teaching you English. First of all, you have to see the parts of the sentence, which I told you. Parts means I. What is I? I is subject. And I told you the remaining part is predicate. And I told you that you and English are objects. These are the parts of the sentence. Now you have to see, is it simple sentence, complex sentence, or compound sentence? You see that it is simple sentence. Sir, how it is simple sentence? Because there is no conjunction, there is no and, or, but, either, as well as nothing is of that is there. Simply, I am teaching you English because it has only one clause. In other words, it has only one verb, that is teaching. I am teaching. Teaching is verb. Verb means action, work. We shows the action or the work of the subject. I will explain these also in the parts of speech. That is, verb means action. Verb means work. There is only one verb or one work. So I told you that in case of simple sentence, there is only one clause. In other words, in case of one clause, one verb is compulsory. And there is no conjunction. So it is simple sentence. Now, example of compound and complex sentences. For example, I can say you in compound sentence. For example, I am going to complete types of sentence today. Yeah, I am going to complete sentence today. I am going to complete sentence today. I will complete sentence today. And tomorrow I will start tennis. And tomorrow I will start tennis. That is, I have used it here and as conjunction. But both first clause and second clause, they have their own meaning. They are not dependent upon each other's meaning. For example, I told you that I will complete sentence today. Today I will complete it. It has its own meaning. If somebody will listen only this, he will be able to understand that the sir is saying that he will complete this sentence today. And tomorrow I will teach tennis. It tomorrow I will teach tennis. It has its own meaning. It is not dependent upon first or second. Both the sentences have their own meaning. They are not dependent upon each other. Now, complex. You will understand what I want to say. Dependent, independent. What I want to say is, if I will complete sentence today, tomorrow I will start. Tomorrow I will start tennis. Yeah, I can write this in this way also. Tomorrow I will start tennis if I will complete sentence today. I can write in both ways. That means if I will complete. If I will complete, there is condition. Yani maybe I may or may not complete. There is condition if. This if clause is dependent upon the mere clause. This if clause is dependent upon the mere clause, which is independent clause. That tomorrow I will teach you tennis. This main clause, tomorrow I will teach you tennis, it has its own meaning. Its meaning is not dependent upon anything else. But there is the this dependent clause or subordinate clause if. Can you got me or not? Okay. I will give you another example. Yes. One second. One second. One second. I One second. I think that it is sufficient. I will close the recording. Thanks. Thanks. Tomorrow we will sit on the topic and we are going to discuss now discussion. For discussion, we will discuss except we will not record that whatever we will discuss because with that the video becomes large. Now we are going